600,000 people going in and out of Australia each week, the integrity of our passports is at the heart of national security. Screening out terrorists, criminals, kids being trafficked. And at some point, it's going to come down to this question. Is the face in front of you the person on the passport? If that fails, security has been breached. It's been dubbed the passport problem. We humans think we're really good at matching faces. That's because we are really good at recognising familiar faces. If you know me, you'll have easily spotted this switch. But with unfamiliar faces, new Australian research is revealing even passport officials get 1 in 7 wrong. It sent shockwaves through the international passport community.
Well, I think everyone in the Passport Office was a little bit surprised by this. Simply, it goes against your intuition.
And prompted a surprising solution.
There are some people that are just extraordinarily good at this task, and those are the people that we dub super matchers.
So, with the help of my doppelganger, we're going to show you how to try and obtain a false passport, and how now, with the aid of an elite forensic unit of so-called super matchers, you will be caught. The story begins back in 2005. That's when Australia was one of the first countries in the world to roll out the new e-passport. This chip changed everything. Prior to this, it was conceivable to alter a passport, to add your photo or to fake one. Now it's almost impossible because you can't really tamper with or forge the chip without it leaving a trace. So at that point, the face as proof of identity became even more important as criminals switched from forging passports to identity fraud.
They'll steal someone's identity, they'll borrow someone's identity, they'll collude with someone to get that identity, or they'll simply impersonate someone else.
So here's how that may play out. I need money, so I decide to sell my identity to this woman. Using my real identity and all its legitimate records, she will now try to get a passport in my name using her photo.
And you have your photos there. Thank you. And your driver's licence, please.
In a real situation, we look enough alike. The driver's licence photo might slip by. But just in case, we're going to run a distraction.
Sorry, my mother's been in a car accident and I have to get to England.
Of course, madam. See what we can do.
So now her photo has been attached to a passport application in my name. And into the system it goes. From here, it goes into the back office for physical processing, and then the serious checking happens. The computer automatically runs over 200 checks. Included in that is the face recognition technology, which spits out its findings here.
So this is the point at which a call is made on a face.
They run 2 main checks.
So this is her previous passport photograph.
The first is to establish whether this new photo belongs to the same old Jonica as they have on file in their client history. And yes, this really is my old passport photo. And while our pathetic attempt at fraud is obvious, imagine how tricky this could be with a family member, even a twin. The second test is this face being used elsewhere, under another name.
We have something like 22 million images in our gallery. Our computer system does that in a fraction of a second, incredibly fast. A person trying to match that image against that number of photos is impossible.
The introduction of this face recognition technology was the other game changer back in 2005. Not only did potential fraudsters have to deal with the chip, this was the first time officials could check if a face had been used before, say on multiple passports.
So while the face recognition technology is phenomenal, in the end it comes down to the person sitting here to make the call on whether these photos match.
And that's where the new Australian research put a spanner in the works. It was 2009 that the Passport Office got in touch with Dr. David White, here at the University of New South Wales. They wanted to know just how good their people were at matching faces. So this face matching task has been designed so that you at home can do it at the same time. So, we're ready? What do we have to do?
In this test, you have a target image at the top of the screen. You have to decide which image below is of that target face.
Okay, the first one, I'll go 2. Oh, it's quite hard. 5? The photos in the array are all from actual current student identity cards. 3? 6? None of the above?
That's
Not an
an
option. Yeah. Seeing how hard this is, imagine the passport situation where photos can be up to 10 years old. 6?
Do you want to know how you did?
Yes.
Okay, so bearing in mind it's only an 8-item test, the average person gets 50% correct.
Really?
So you did very well. You made 3 errors, so you were above average.
Okay. Just above average. An average strike rate of 50% is a fairly shocking indictment of our ability to verify photo ID.
Part of the problem here is that the face isn't captured by a camera in exactly the same appearance twice. So to demonstrate this point, here are 10 images of you, Jonica, and it almost charts your rise to fame, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly charts a few decades of disastrous hairstyles. But I mean, if I didn't know they were me, I wouldn't recognise them as me, half of them.
Yes, to people that were unfamiliar with you, it would be very difficult for them to appreciate that these are the same person.
But surely experience helps. Surely the people who assess photo IDs all the time do better. Well, that's what the Passport Office wanted to know. In this more simple test, passport officers were presented with photo ID, some correct, some not. The officers let through 1 in 7 of the false IDs, an error rate of 14%. They did every bit as poorly as anyone else.
Well, I think everyone in the Passport Office was a little bit surprised by this. Very important for us too, because this ability is fundamental to our business, not only in terms of issuing a passport, but also for the use of the passport. It's a piece of photo ID. So it was a big surprise to see that people aren't very good at it. So what do we do about it?
Big question, big problem. What were they going to do about it? But buried in the research was also a solution. Not everyone was poor at this. Some got near 100%.
The implication of that is that some people are just naturally good.
David has dubbed them the super matchers. And one of the kings amongst them is this man, Trevor Alt.
So, Trevor, apparently you're a super matcher.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, does that come with any special powers in real life?
Not really, only the ability to do puzzles. And
Puzzles?
jigsaws,
Really?
that type of thing, yeah.
Which may help explain why super matchers are so different. Instead of a whole face, they see patterns.
The interesting thing there is that jigsaw puzzles require very laborious checking of very minute features. And so you never really see the whole image, as it were. And I wonder whether a similar thing is going on here with forensic examination. They are managing to leverage some additional information that normal people don't see.
They are trained in this forensic skill, but it does appear some people are innately better at it. So, having decided to screen all their passport officers for face matching ability, the Passport Office saw a new way forward. In 2011, they gathered their super matchers together to form an elite identity resolution unit, the first of its kind in a passport office in the world.
Australia Passport Office are the only passport office I'm aware of that use face matching tests for recruitment. And that really does represent something that is leading in an international sense. And, well, I think it's great.
So what happens now if I try to pull a Swiftie on the Passport Office? We left my fraudulent passport application here, where it's been flagged as suspicious. This is now a case for the IRU.
The shape of the inner corners of the eyes are quite different.
Really? They look the same to me.
It's slightly longer in the inner corners there.
With the IRU in place, David is running further research on these super matches' performance, and they are strikingly better.
They were about 20% better than normal passport officers that haven't received the specialised training. So 20% is a significant gain.
The placement of the lips in relation to the chin is quite different.
Emma is now confident these are two different people. And gratifyingly, the software has come up with the real passport photo of the actress playing my doppelganger.
So what's your verdict on this passport application?
Something I'd have to refer upwards to the forensic document examiners. It might go to prosecution.
Oh dear.
If the IRU is made of super matchers, in an elite unit above them sits the master matcher, Trevor Alt, who testifies on forensic face matching in court.
It very much depersonalises the image.
Okay, so this is a real case of identity fraud you're showing me?
Yes, this is a gentleman that had 3 identities, and most of them were obtained quite a long time ago.
This is where it gets really interesting. Because it was easier to get a passport prior to 2005, before the e-chip and the face recognition technology, there are already people out there with multiple passports. But they need to be renewed, and that's how this man's face ended up here.
The pattern, the shape of the outside,
Oh, right.
matching all the way through to the lobe.
Being analysed by this master puzzle solver.
3 different names,
3 different names,
same person.
same person.
So you got him?
Certainly did.
But there is another place matching a face to a passport photo is crucial, and that's our airports.
Over 13 million international travellers came through this airport last year. And if you remember, the research showed 1 in 7 dud photo IDs were wrongly accepted. That would equate to a significant risk of admitting travellers bearing false passports.
We've shown you one version of attempted identity fraud, but the simplest is to take the passport of someone who looks similar and hope no one notices. You can steal a passport or swap with a sibling, and it helps if you are a different ethnicity to the observer.
That's known as the other race effect. It is well known that we're much poorer when faces are of a different race to our own.
So is this where technology will triumph? Well, that's what the folk at Customs and Border Protection believe. These are examples of the next generation of SmartGate. It takes multiple photos of me until it's got one it's happy with.
The biometrics algorithms are better, so they're able to take the images which are presented at the gate and match them in a higher degree of confidence. And the intention is that we'll be starting to roll those out initially in Brisbane from the 1st of July this year.
But we've seen how prone to error humans are at this task. Is the confidence in this new technology justified?
We know the technology is not infallible. What we do know, though, is that the technology is reliable.
But all the experts agree it'll never be foolproof. So here too, Australian Customs and Border Protection are turning as their final line of protection to an elite band of human face matchers. So let's say I fail the smart gate or an officer gets suspicious this is not my face.
Come through, please.
I get interviewed, and if there's still doubt about my identity, my photo flies off to Canberra, to their Identity Resolution Centre, composed entirely of forensic face-matching experts.
What I like is the wrinkles.
Yeah, she's got quite prominent wrinkles under the eye there.
Who send the call back to the airport, am I in or out?
So what do you think?
I definitely think they're different.
No matter how good the technology, our national security still comes down to a person matching a face to a face.
So a massive amount of effort and money has been put into trying to improve the accuracy of computer systems. But what's going to be completely ignored is that humans have to deal with the output of these systems. Where we've shown that if you select the people that are using this software, using face matching tests, you can get a gain of 20%. So the human side is where the big gains can be made.
As for any potential passport fraudsters out there, you can try, but beware the super matchers. Their whole purpose in life is to catch you out. And if you'd like to find out if you are a super matcher, check out the test on our website